Alright guys, Omega Cardboard here. I'm going to be doing a video. Another imposter. Back again with the bad sound effects. Right. Look at this. Who remembers Boomco? Yeah. I'll rip off from there. Alright. So, today's video is going to be about new sealed investing. So what I mean by new, let me back up a bit. What I mean by new is sort of standard, but not really. You can go back, you know, a couple. Probably, I guess new counts as sort of pioneer legal stuff. Anything beyond back, but it counts. Because I'm going to do a new sealed, and then there's going to be like a middle sealed, and then obviously vintage. Anyways, so for new, I'm talking like standard sets plus probably the past, I don't know, 3-ish years, I mean by new, and then sort of the past like 5 to 10 years is going to be like in the middle, and then when I have vintage and that, probably. I think that's what we're going to do. Anyways, so for new sealed investing. So for this stuff, obviously you want to get it when it's new. So I mean, when I say talking about the past 3 years, that will classify as new. We're really going to be talking about super standard legal stuff, but to be honest, because you're not going to like buy, I don't know, some random setback and Rivals of XLR, XLR. You're not going to buy that now at like 110 a box when it hasn't increased in price. It's not good, so you wouldn't go and buy into that now, unless you got some special deal on it. So mainly I'm talking about the standard sets. Obviously some sets which you do think are going to increase, like maybe Caladesh, that might still be worth it. Don't know though. Anyways, we'll just try and stick to standard. Right. Standard stuff. So obviously we've got stuff in print at the moment, which is a Ravnica still in print? No, they've gone out of print recently. Ravnica's out of print recently, but it's still not too late on that. We've got Dominaria is out of print. That's probably already gone up a bit too much now. I mean, you probably could still go now. What are the other? So we've got obviously Theros, Throne, Ikoria, Double Masters, War of the Spark. That's not out of print yet. Right. So with these standard sets, before you buy into them and go large, get a big position in them, you want to wait till they're out of print for a start, because when they're still in print, they can have, you know, they could get a big reprint batch in, anything like that. They can have loads of batches of just loads of things coming, demolish the price. Like I'm talking like Dragon's Maze, you know, that kind of thing. It's a bunch of reprints. They get the supply wrong to the demand. They get it wrong. You know, loads of supply, no one wants it. Value's gone right down, and you wouldn't want to bought it at release for like 80, and then like value gets, well actually 80 would be a good price to buy in, but I'm talking maybe you wouldn't want to buy it in at release for whatever 90, and then like a couple months later down the line it like gets demolished and it's only 60, and then even when it's demolished it's going to take ages to go up, so you've lost quite a little bit of money there. What you're going to want to do, you're going to want to wait till it's out of print to buy, unless you're like getting distributor prices, which is a bit different. So obviously if you're getting distributor sort of, if you own a store or whatnot, and you can buy off distributors, wholesale prices, that's what they're called, then obviously you can probably buy it from the start. If you're gonna, are you allowed to, so I'm not sure on this stuff, obviously, because I don't own a store and do this stuff, but I'm not sure if you're actually allowed to just buy off distributors and keep it for yourself. Like, I think you have to, I don't know what the deal with that is, or you have to like sell a lot of it. Not really sure, because I don't know if you're solely just allowed to keep it to sell later. I think you might have to sell it at the time, or otherwise you distribute. I'm not sure though. But anyways, then you can get a good price from the start, and as long as it's not going to be a absolute failure like Dragon's Maze, something like that, where it goes down super in value, even lower than distributor prices, then you're pretty much fine buying it then. for the low prices. Now I'm not sure if you can do that with distributors and stuff. I don't know a lot about this. Don't own the store. Don't get from distributors. Don't know a lot about that sort of stuff. But anyways, for regular stuff, you're gonna want to put it out of print, because then you know it's pretty much all Magic sets increase pretty much, except for even your like really bad with the Dragons increase eventually, but they just take a lot longer. So basically, once it's out of print, you know it's not really going to decrease unless something really weird happens. Magic goes to complete zero and stops playing it. So yeah, other than that, you're pretty safe buying it when it's out of print. Also, you want to get a good price basis. So I'm thinking you probably want to go in at 80, 85, something like that. Otherwise, you're going in a bit too high. It's not gonna get as good returns and everything when you're buying them. So yeah, that's your good price basis, around $80. Maybe a little bit higher if you can't get it for that. Look for them eBay good deals. But obviously, yeah, I mean, you're probably not going to be a big time person unless you're getting it from stores and distributors and stuff. So probably just look for like a good box of, I mean, to be honest, modern standard sealed investing is probably not the best unless you're doing it in bulk, let's be honest. But you can, you know, buy, I don't know, just buy a case from each sort of standard set. That would be a good thing at a good price at $80. If you're in the USA, obviously, just best place to get that is from Rudy, Alpha Investments. If you have Patreon, you can get that. If you're in the UK, I don't know what, or anywhere else for that matter, then yeah, you're kind of screwed. You haven't got a Rudy to buy off for good prices. Your best bet's to look for good price on eBay. Probably maybe some random stores do good prices. But yeah, that's your best bet if you're outside the USA. Otherwise, be a Patreon for Rudy. Although he hasn't got many slots, so good luck getting that. Although I swear there's probably going to be some like second-hand Rudy Patreon slot market soon. That'd be funny. Anyways, so yeah, good price basis. But of course, if you don't want to just buy like a case of every single standard set, you're going to need to look out for the good sets. And how do you do that with standard sets? Well, one of the big things is if it's got a good land cycle. Because, you know, all the good sets have a good land cycle. Like, actually, that's not... I was going to say Ravnica, but obviously it is actually... Original Ravnica's done well. Guilds and Allegiance, I reckon, are going to do well. But you don't have to listen to me. That's just my opinion. I think Guilds and Allegiance are going to do pretty well. The two little return to Ravnica sets. Guild's probably going to do better as it did at release and everything. Guild, or no, Allegiance could be like sneaky. Because it's got that smothering tea and stuff. Anyway, it's a good land cycle. So obviously the Ravnica sets have the shock lands, so they did pretty good except for Guilds. Not Guilds. Dragon's Maze. They did pretty good except for Dragon's Maze. Right. So good land cycle. That's one of the things you want to look out. Another one is supply. Obviously it's always had a low supply and you know there's not going to be any more reprints. There's a low supply, that means it's going to increase in value fast. That's always a good set to look out for. If people perceive it as being bad, and obviously it's not actual garbage, and you do think it might actually be decent, and people perceive it as being bad, then that's a good time to get a lot of it when not everyone else is going to be holding positions. And in a couple of years' time, when no one's got it, and people actually kind of like, hey, that's not too bad. You've got it all, and you'll be like, hey guys, come grab all my stuff. Don't grab it, yeah. Buy it, but yeah. So obviously that's what happened with Iconic Masters. No one liked it, no one held it, and now people have it, and people kind of want it, and it's increasing the price. So yeah, sets like that. You want to look out for just good cards in general. You want to have, I don't know how well this works, but I'd say you kind of want a low volatility, high expected value. If it's got a high expected value, that's going to increase it a lot as well. It's got good expensive cards in, obviously, but Theros, of course, it has Uru, the big expensive guy, but obviously it hasn't done very well because it got a lot of print. A lot of people didn't like it, kind of, yeah. Actually, people kind of liked it. It's a bit weird. But, collector boosters as well have been demolishing the value out of standard boosters at the moment. So I'd probably say actually investing in collector boosters is a better idea than standard. And buy a case of them each time, although that's going to be expensive. So maybe not a full case, but you know, I'd say collectors are probably better than standards just because they have more pulls, more good cards which people are going to look out for, and they have the collectability to them. Like in a couple of years, people are going to like want to have like a set of each collector boosters. Maybe. Ow. My eye hurts. So yeah, people are going to want collector boosters. They're probably better than standard boosters at the moment. I think set boosters as well are going to be good, but I'm not going to talk about them yet in this video because they're not really out yet. We don't know a lot about them. So, alright. So that's what you're going to look out for. You want to have good value stuff. Obviously, Theros got Uru, as I was saying, but it's very volatile. You don't get many Titans. The gods have a little bit of value. They were like 10 each. $10 each. Ish. Some of them have actually a lot lower. Like, I think Nylea is pretty bad. We have some good cards in there, but it's pretty volatile with your pricing. So intrinsic value isn't very high. You want to look for a high expected value. Yeah. Anything else to touch? Just good cards in general. If you want to look for, I think they're known as sleepers in the cards. So they're cards which don't have a lot of attention now, but down the line you reckon they might actually be seen as pretty good, and in like some unexpected set, like Theros for example, some random card in there starts being good, and not many people like Theros and hold positions in it. Theros could be a really good set. I think that's all we're going to talk about. I may talk about standard sealed investing again at some point, maybe, because I probably haven't touched on everything here. It's a short video. That's it. I hope you learned something. Hope you enjoyed that educational video, and Mega Cardboard out.